Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Jake Stegerman. Noah Adler will have a look at all the highlights later in the show. What can we expect, Noah?
Well, what we can expect, Jake, is a full report of the National Men's Basketball, which the SAIT Trojans are starting today. And in fact, we have one of our own at the scene. Joining us right now from the Jack Simpson Gymnasium at UFC is Brett Lubkiski. What's going on right now, Brett?
Hey guys, I am live at the Jack Simpson Gym at the University of Calgary for day one of the CCAA National Basketball Championships hosted by SAIT. It has been a fantastic day so far. We're currently in third quarter action between the Dawson Blues of Montreal and the VIU Mariners from Nanaimo. It's been a great day so far, and we still have two more games to go, including our SAIT Trojans, who are right here. The mascot's all pumped up. We're pumped up. It's going to be a great night here tonight at the University of Calgary. We'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Thanks, Brett. Ella Matt is outside seeing some sun currently. Ella, what's it looking like out there?
Hey Jake, currently it is 1 degree outside. It's super sunny and gorgeous out today, but last year it was higher at 2 degrees. But if we really want to talk about high temperatures, only 5 years ago in 2018, it was 35.5 degrees out. To contrast, in 1893, it was minus 45 degrees out. Not a super fun temperature. But we can look forward to tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day to have potentially some patio weather out. So you can get out on your patio and sip on that green beer. Back to you in the studio, Jake.
Thanks, Ella. Now here's a look at today's top stories. Calgary police have one person in custody after a stabbing incident at a high school in southeast Calgary this morning. Police were called to Father Lacombe High School on Radcliffe Drive Southeast at about 11 this morning. A student was taken to hospital with minor injuries. Police say there were no threat to other students at the school. The school issued a statement saying the safety of students is paramount to all members of the community, and that thoughts and prayers were with everyone involved. 2 Edmonton Police Service patrol officers were killed while responding to a domestic call early this morning. According to investigators, a male suspect is also dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. A female who was related to the suspect is in the hospital with life-threatening injuries, but was in stable condition as of 10 this morning. The victims are identified as 35-year-old Constable Travis Jordan and 30-year-old Constable Brett Ryan.
Members were rushed to the hospital by our own members who worked valiantly to save their lives en route. Unfortunately, they are both declared deceased at the hospital.
When McPhee spoke to the media this morning, he said that the public was not at risk. Getting around Calgary can have its challenges for the best of us, but for people with mobility issues, it can be really difficult at times. The expectation is public facilities at least should be accessible to all. However, this might not be the case. As Travis Neal reports, it's tough when you can't even get in the door.
Handicap buttons at the Calgary Court Centre don't open the doors, making it that much harder for people with mobility issues to get into the building. People with mobility issues believe the whole of Calgary needs to do more to make the city more accessible for them.
So I feel like there's a lot they could do. It's not something that should be super hard to figure out. Like, we're in 2023. Accessibility should not be so lacking in a big city like Calgary.
DJ Todd is someone who has mobility issues. Things like walking up a set of stairs is that much harder for him. Wheelchair accessible buttons are outside the courthouse, theoretically allowing people in wheelchairs to easily enter the building. But it turns out these buttons don't work as intended, as the door itself does not open.
Mobility issues aren't just outside of the courthouse, rather they're in every courtroom. Some Calgary lawyers say it's hard to get some witnesses on the stand due to the mobility issues.
But the only complaint I would have is in the courtrooms themselves. If we have a witness who is mobility impaired, it is difficult for that individual to take the witness stand to testify.
These challenges within the courtroom can add an unnecessary roadblock for any witness with mobility issues that may want to take the stand.
I want to take a stand or get in the actual room. It's tough for them, and it's a joke. I don't think it should be this way.
For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Travis Neal.
A Reading with Royalty event at Calgary's Signal Hill Public Library yesterday resulted in a pair of arrests. This isn't the first time this event, where drag queens read to kids, has experienced negative backlash. A similar protest took place a few weeks ago. City Council passed a bylaw yesterday afternoon to put distance between protesters and city facilities. Chelsea Kavanagh joins us from the SAIT newsroom. What's happening there?
Well, Jake, the bylaw is definitely getting some mixed signals. Just one day after it was passed, protesters were already back at the same event the other day to raise their concerns once again.
Are responsive to a situation that they've seen become increasingly concerning to themselves, to enforcement, and so what they're bringing forward today is intended to ensure the ability to safely access our public facilities for all Calgary.
Despite the newly passed bylaw, that didn't stop protesters from showing up at the Signal Hill Library yesterday to protest the most recent Reading with Royalty event. Due to the continuing violence from protesters, the Calgary Public Library decided to cancel the upcoming drag event as they're worried for the safety of all participants. Kevin Reading, a first-year TV student at SAIT who also performs as a drag queen, says he's hopeful that the new bylaw will help events like Reading with Royalty be better supported by the community.
I fully empathize with the library. No staff or anybody should be being harassed by hate groups, but it definitely does feel like hate kind of won in that situation. So it doesn't feel great, and I'm hoping with these new bylaws and things like that, that these cancellations won't happen again.
Despite the bylaw being in very early stages, Council is sure it will make the difference. They're hoping it will.
That was Chelsea Kavanagh reporting live from the SAIT newsroom. The Alberta election is just 2.5 months away, and already many community groups are looking for ways to influence what the next government might do for funding. Many Albertans are continuing to be impacted by the pandemic and now the increase in inflation. After 3 years of doing more with less, several Albertan nonprofit organizations are in crisis. The other priorities are workforce strategy, better data collection, a door to the government, and an empowered sector.
With an election on the horizon and in this time of economic prosperity, Alberta's provincial parties have an opportunity to collectively create an Alberta that everyone, from the youngest graduate just leaving university to a senior in care, is proud to call home.
The groups say they need to find a way to streamline funding to make sure government funds are being used effectively. On April 1st, a new federal tax is set to kick in that will be affecting the liquor industry. With the new tax set to go up to 6.3%, local breweries are concerned. Brendan Donald has more.
The federal government is moving forward with a new tax that will be affecting local breweries. The new tax kicks in on April 1st, with the tax going from 2.4% to 6.3%, with a total of 18% overall since the federal government tied the tax to inflation back in 2017. With bigger breweries taking a bigger hit with the new tax due to them making over 750 hectoliters annually, it will cost some upwards of $4 million in federal taxes.
Not only are local breweries being affected by this new higher tax rate, they're also being hit in the pockets for the ingredients that they use to brew their product.
Local breweries like Elite Brewing and Cider have felt the impact and aren't happy with the new tax rate while also having to pay more for ingredients.
Well, right now there's a lot of exterior influences in increasing the cost of being a brewery. So, for example, the grain has gone up, I'd say like 20% in the past 2 years. Shipping is going up. So it's just another thing that's just adding more operational pressure to breweries.
Not only will this new tax be more expensive for brewers, but also the price tag being placed on beer itself. With some of the bigger breweries, they can take the hit a little bit easier with only slight price increase, while smaller breweries will have to up the price a lot more. With everyday items becoming more expensive, with beer and liquor being no different, people everywhere, both businesses and business goers, are wondering when some relief will come. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Brendan Donald.
Due to the unlawful seizure of 4 of its aircrafts over the weekend, Flair Airlines has filed a $50 million lawsuit against several plane leasing companies. Flair couldn't notify or rebook customers because Flair claimed it hadn't received any notice. The airline found itself down by more than a fifth of its 19-plane fleet after the plane was taken out of operation last weekend, which resulted in multiple canceled flights. None of the allegations in Flair's lawsuit have been tested in court. Calgary now has the dubious honor of being the city with the highest unemployment numbers in all of Canada. Stats Canada released their annual labor survey report, and it revealed that Calgary has the highest unemployment rates in the entire country at 6.6%. But that hasn't been the case for many of the businesses on campus, including the Odyssey Cafe. The cafe has been a long-running business and and has recently moved to the Senator Burns building. Operations manager Kira Savoy says they haven't had problems hiring students.
When we've posted our jobs, we've always had multiple applications, and we weren't able to give everyone jobs that applied.
Many on campus are hopeful those unemployment rates will go down. We'll be joining Brett Lubkowski live at the CCAA Men's Basketball Championships at the U of C in just a few minutes, but Brett spent yesterday evening at the Trojans Awards banquet here on campus. With the campus center under construction, SAIT is trying to give its Trojans as much of a home environment as it can. This afternoon, he gives us a sneak peek at the new bubble.
The 8 best collegiate basketball programs in Canada arrived in Calgary earlier this week. From coast to coast, the country's top athletes are competing for the championship. SAIT last hosted nationals in 2012, but this time around, the event is at the Jack Simpson Gymnasium at the University of Calgary, something that the Trojans are thankful for.
So it's a good reminder to everyone that having a collaborative attitude really helps, and we work pretty closely with them on other facility initiatives. When they put in these wonderful bleachers behind us, we hosted the Canada West Women's Volleyball Championships back when that project happened.
Next season, the Trojans will be moving into a temporary facility set up just behind the East residence on campus. The structure, being nicknamed the Bubble, will feature a full gym and a basketball court for SAIT students to take advantage of. The Bubble was opened Wednesday night as the venue for the CCAA National Basketball Awards ceremony. So far, those who have checked it out say the Bubble is a slam dunk.
I think they did a good job with it. It's good size, and I know they're going to be playing with it next year, so.
Yeah, I agree, and especially because it's not even done yet, it shows so much potential in the first place. Even though it's temporary, it's nice to have a quality spot to still be able to play basketball and work out.
There is still plenty of work to be done in the Bubble before it's ready to be open for use. But for students, especially those who play Trojans athletics, they will finally have a building they can call their own once again. The new temporary campus center will open on April 3rd, and it will give SAIT students an opportunity to stay active on campus. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Brett Lubkowski.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break. But first, Ella Matt has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Theatre Calgary is putting on the play Forgiveness. The infamous war play that touches on themes of honor, glory, and most importantly, forgiveness is playing all month long until April 1st. Think you got a good swing? Put your skills to the test at this weekend's golf show at the BMO Center. There will be a driving range and some of the best gear in the industry. Come on down Sunday for the event. Venture through an emotional journey about a ghostly love story with the Alberta Ballet. The ballet follows a young girl, Giselle, through her madly romantic relationship. The play will premiere on Saturday. Sit back, relax, and paint. It's been a long week. Unwind with Bonus Arts Paint Night. Tickets are online at allevents.com. It's about to get lucky at the Farmers Market this St. Patrick's Day. It will be a day full of dancing and entertainment. So come on down tomorrow to get your fill.
I used to hear voices. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Walked around in circles, didn't know where to go. Until I found my purpose. Through people that helped me live a better life and build a better future. Now I could finally see that I'm able, capable, and worthy.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Hey there, I hope you've been enjoying the sunny weather so far. Now it's time to get into the weather. If we look at the western part of the country, we can see that we're getting more sunshine on the coastal part and here in Alberta. And a lot of that snowy weather is now trapped in the central part of the country. And we can see that where it's -7 degrees in Regina and -8 degrees in Winnipeg where it's snowing. Vancouver, it's partly cloudy, but they're expected to see some rain later this evening. Edmonton continues to be super, super sunny, just like the rest of the province. Now we can go to the east part of the country. We see that at St. John's, it's 0 degrees currently, and they're expected to actually have a bit of a snowfall warning later this evening. It's going to get super chilly. We continue to see precipitation moving down a little bit at Halifax, where it's 2 degrees. It's a little bit warmer, but still that precipitation. Then we can see it's partly cloudy in Montreal and in Toronto. And now we can see where it's even warmer down at some resorts. If you're thinking about going somewhere warm over spring break, you've got plenty of options. In Palm Springs, it's 13, Barbados at 29, and Cancun is at 26 degrees. Honolulu is at 24 degrees, Orlando at 19, and Las Vegas at a low 10 degrees. It's partly cloudy everywhere except in sunny Orlando. Currently today in Calgary, it's 1 degrees and partly cloudy. But a lot of those clouds are going to clear up later today, and it's just going to be sunny later today. And winds are only at 11 kilometers per hour, which is super nice because we're not getting that cold wind feeling, and it's less bone chilling, and it's more of just a lovely warm day out today. If we look at the province, we can see that it's mostly sunny, which is really nice to see considering we've been seeing a lot of snow for the past few weeks. Even earlier this week when we saw snow, there was a bit of a polar vortex earlier this week coming down in a bit of an S shape throughout the province. And now we can see it's slowly leaving at Medicine Hat there, where it's 2 degrees and it's a little bit cloudy, but it's finally escaping the province. If we look towards Banff, it's super sunny out there. And it's actually a really great day to get out to the mountains because we had snow earlier this week. There's still a little bit of snow left, and it's at that peak temperature where it's super sunny, but we can also see that there's at Lake Louise about a foot of snow at the top of the lift and still about a half a foot later. And if we look into the 5-day forecast, we can see that tonight continue with that sunny pattern. All weekend we can see it's all sunny, which is great. And funny enough, on Monday, it's partly cloudy when the official day of spring starts. But yeah, moving forward, we can see that Noah Adler will have the sports.
Did you know that having your pet neutered can increase their lifespan? While pets that are not neutered are at a high risk of infection and disease. When adopting a pet, the Rescue Friends Animal Foundation pets available for adoptions are already neutered. Adopt your own neutered pet at Rescued Friends.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Noah Adler joins us for a look at the latest highlights. What can we expect, Noah?
Well, we can expect some Flames highlights, but first we're going to be taking a look at our SAIT Trojans. Our SAIT Trojans men's basketball squad start play in the CCAA Men's Basketball National Championships this evening at 8 p.m. against the Holland Hurricanes over at the University of Calgary. Brett Lubkiski, who's on tonight's broadcast team, joins us live in the Jack Simpson Gymnasium at the University of Calgary. Brett, what's happening?
Hey guys, I am still live on location at the Jack Simpson Gym at the University of Calgary. It has been a great day of basketball so far. It's currently fourth quarter action between the VIU Mariners and the Dawson College Blues. SAIT has done a great job of hosting this event as they are searching for that CCAA national championship that they have not been able to win over the past few years. I had a chance last night to chat with a couple of SAIT Trojan basketball players to ask them how they feel about hosting this event at home.
I think that's the most exciting part about this Nationals, is that we do get to play at home. Have that hometown crowd behind us will definitely help a lot. And then just, yeah, getting to see our families out there too would be a great part about this.
Get them in here. Guys, it is going to be a great night, and SAIT is playing later tonight at 8 o'clock when they take on the Holland Hurricanes from Prince Edward Island. It's going to be a great night. SAIT Trojans fans, come on down to the Jack and support on your Trojans. Back to you guys.
That was Brett Lubkiski reporting live from the Jack Simpson Gymnasium at the University of Calgary. Tonight's game should be an exciting one for our Trojans. The Toronto Maple Leafs were in action last night as they took on the Colorado Avalanche. We picked things up at 3:41 of the first period as Leafs defenseman Morgan Riley opens up the scoring for Toronto after receiving a nifty pass from Mitch Marner to make it 1-0 Toronto. Later on in the period, Avs defenseman Jack Johnson rips a shot from the point but goes off the crossbar. However, a minute and a half later, Mikko Rantanen scores his 44th of the season to tie the game up at 1. No other scoring in the second, third, and extra time as the game had to be decided in a shootout. Nathan McKinnon, flying in with that Roadrunner speed, beats Sam Samsonov for the first goal in the shootout, which means it's up to Mitch Marner to keep the game going, but is poke-checked by Georgiev as the Avs win 2-1. With their win, Colorado moves into third place in the Central Division, while the Leafs remain second in the Atlantic with 3 points up on Tampa Bay. Avs are back in action tonight against the Ottawa Senators, while the Leafs are back in action tomorrow at home to the Carolina Hurricanes. 3 other games took place in the NHL schedule last night. The Washington Capitals won in a shootout over the Buffalo Sabres by 5-4 score. The Minnesota Wild beat up on the St. Louis Blues 8-5. The New York Islanders rolled through the tanking for Bedard Anaheim Ducks 6-3. 10 games are on par for tonight's schedule, including 6 Canadian teams in action. One of those teams in action will be the Calgary Flames. It has been an absolute roller coaster of a season for the boys in red, white, and yellow. They finish off a short 2-game road trip tonight as they are in Vegas to take on the Golden Knights. Flames are coming off in a pretty on-brand performance against the Arizona Coyotes Tuesday night, losing in overtime 4-3. Calgary's playoff hopes are surprisingly not dead yet, as they remain in the hunt for that last and remaining wildcard spot in the Western Conference. They are in search of their first ever win in the Sin City, as puck drop is set for 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Canada's quest for a WBC championship continued yesterday against Team Mexico. A win and they would be moving on in the tournament. Edmonton native Rob Zdrusny took the hill for the squad for a chance to advance in the quarterfinals. Already 2-0 Mexico in the top half of the first, where the Canadians turned the double play to get out of the jam. Otto Lopez gets Canada on the board with a single to center, scoring Eduardo Julian to make it a 1-run game. In the top of the third, Jacob Robson makes an absolute robbery on the fly to left field to keep it at the time a 2-run deficit. Josh Naylor would crush a solo shot to make the game a 1-run game, but unfortunately, they would only have one more in the 10-3 setback. The loss and Colombia's loss to the United States unfortunately ends Canada's hopes of a WBC championship. Mexico, on the other hand, are heading to Miami to play against Puerto Rico in the quarterfinals starting tomorrow. Taking a look at the other scores from the WBC, Cuba beat Australia 4-3, Venezuela cruised to a 5-1 win over Israel. Puerto Rico eliminated the heavily favored Dominican Republic 5-2, but without any drama as Mets closer Edwin Diaz tore his patellar tendon in the celebration afterwards and is done for the upcoming season. The United States defeated Colombia 3-2, Shohei Ohtani and Japan 9-3 winners over Team Italy. The Toronto Raptors play host to the Oklahoma City Thunder this evening. Toronto currently sits in the wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference, picture trailing the 8th place Atlanta Hawks by a game in the stands. Tip-off from the 6th is set for a little less than an hour, time at 5:30. This will be the first Raptors game reffed by Ben Taylor since the incident between him and Fred VanVleet, which resulted in VanVleet being fined $30,000. And that's a look at sports. And by the way, we should probably mention something too, but our newest basketball team, the Calgary Surge, will be playing 3 games on TSN this year.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'd definitely be tuning into that at some point. It's always fun watching basketball. March Madness is on right now too.
Yeah.
You tuning into that this weekend at all, or?
Yeah, I'll probably watch a few games there and there.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always a fun time to watch. After the break, we'll be taking a look at yoga.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
Yoga is recognized as being vital in keeping our bodies fit and full of energy. Yet only 1 in 5 Canadians partake in it. To find out why, we go to David Yue with the story.
Inhale all the way up, palms connect, and release.
Yoga is a practice that dates back thousands of years, and it has many mental and physical health benefits to its name.
It can help with like hip pain, shoulder pain, like lack of mobility in your upper back, like if you feel like you're hunched over. It can help with your wrists, it can help with your fingers. Immense possibility with the benefits of yoga.
Despite that, a survey done in 2019 revealed that only 1 in 5 Canadians practice yoga, with many considering it to be intimidating.
It is a humbling practice, but it always helps alleviate pain. And for most, that pain comes from doing nothing. And what makes it worse is continuing to do nothing.
I hear friends, I ask, oh, you should come to this class with me. And they say, oh, I'm not flexible enough. And I think in my head, like, well, that's the point.
In recent years, yoga advocates have created a more accessible field for the public to dip their toes into the practice, in hopes of reaching out to those without any means.
Sometimes there's community classes that are offered either through studios like this, or there'll be other kind of volunteer organizations or volunteer teachers. Those are lovely places to go, especially if income is a factor that is concerning.
With studios bending over backwards for more incoming students, yoga seems to be on the rise. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm David Uwe.
Yeah, well, today the forecast, it's going to be quite nice over the weekend. It's a great opportunity to get out and do some weather. Looking at this weekend, yeah, sunny all around. And then Monday, as I said before, ironically, first day of spring, but that's when we're going to see our lowest temperature, or potentially lowest temperature, even though we have a high of 8. And the next following week after, we're going to see a similar pattern. And it's nice to see that the groundhog was right and spring is coming. I don't know about you guys, though, but this nice weather is making me want to do some yoga.
Oh yeah. The yoga definitely is better outside. Have you been taking part in any yoga in the last so many years, or no, not your thing?
I've never done it before. I don't know if I will.
Yeah.
Someone's got to really convince me to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
You're an athlete. It's always good, right? It's always good for the athletics to get the yoga in. 100%. I don't know. Ella, what about you?
I'm not huge into yoga myself, but you know, sometimes it's always great to meditate and really take it all in. But I know you really like yoga. You've told me a lot about it before, so yeah. Now, see, I guess speaking from experience, you can tell us about. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a part, you know, the last couple of years. Took it back in high school, and yeah, so it's just always been helpful. So, and with that, we will see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good night.